Coming up right now on Marlborough this week, President Barack Obama makes a surprise visit and lands in Marlborough's own airport. A fire damaged and displaced a family from their home on Tuesday afternoon. Plus, Marlborough residents and city officials celebrated the launch of an extended Saturday bus service. And from MHS to NHL, Marlborough's own Bobby Butler makes his debut with the Ottawa Senators. That story is coming up in sports. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Many thought it was an April Fool's joke, but the President of the United States did set foot in Marlborough's own airport on Thursday evening. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's surprise visit.
Until the helicopters started arriving and all of the blue lights went to the corner of Post Road, most people had no idea that anything like this could happen.
In what at first sounded like an April Fool's gag, President Barack Obama paid a surprise visit to a soggy Metro West on Thursday evening. Bob Stetson, owner of Marlborough Airport, got a call early Thursday morning with a request.
He asked if I was in a position to support 6 helicopters that were working in support of VIP movement. I said, sure.
Obama's brief stop, in which he thanked emergency management workers dealing with the wettest March on record, was the first presidential visit to the area since Bill Clinton came to Framingham in 1994. Officers kept watch on the roof of a building near the runway, and traffic backed up in both directions on Farm Road as 6 helicopters landed. Hundreds of people, many holding phones and cameras, greeted Obama with waves and cheers as a presidential helicopter touched down on the Marlborough Airport runway at 5:15 p.m.
I saw him as he transitioned from the helicopter to the limousine. He waved to the crowd across the street as he was transitioning from the helicopter to the limousine.
From there, motorcade took him to the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency's bunker in Framingham and then on to an evening fundraiser in Boston. Several people in the crowd said they'd heard about the president's appearance through updates on Facebook, though initially they suspected the messages might have been part of a prank. Still, crowds gathered and grew through the afternoon. The onlookers were held back by security tape and officers. The security presence included state troopers, officers from Boston and Marlborough, and the Secret Service.
These people know what they're doing. They do it on a daily basis. They do it for a living. They know exactly what they're doing.
Stetson stated that he felt good about his contribution during Thursday's event, adding that events like this brings attention to the airport, displaying what it's capable of and what it does on a daily basis that not many people know about.
Most people see this airport as a place where rich people go to play with their flying toys. And we do far more than that. We support life flight operations here. We support incoming VIPs, both from the political arena and from the corporate world.
A gas heater malfunction in a flooded basement caused a fire on Hurley Circle, which has displaced the family living there. We spoke with Lieutenant Stephen Crissa to get the details, who was on the scene Tuesday night. Gas heater malfunction in a flooded basement caused Tuesday's Hurley Circle fire that rendered the house unlivable for a while. Water in the basement of 66 Hurley Circle got inside the heater. The older heater did not have safeguards to shut down, and the gas kept feeding, sparking a fire that extended into the walls.
The fire investigation unit determined, along with the gas company, that it was a faulty gas heater, the old style that was installed back in probably the late 60s, early 70s, and it's not equipped with today's safety features that you'd have on a gas heater.
Someone inside the home and several neighbors reported the fire at about 4 p.m. Smoke poured out of windows and the chimney as water from the storm rushed down the street.
Found a smoke condition in the basement. We tried to force the rear door to gain access to the basement, which we were unable to because it was secured for safety purposes for herself living alone. At that time, we had to enter on the side of the building and bring a stretcher a hose line in through the house, which was fully charged with smoke, down the basement stairs into virtually an oven.
Firefighters did put out the fire within about 20 minutes. The fire caused at least $50,000 worth of damage. The basement had heavy fire damage, and the first floor sustained heavy smoke damage. No one was hurt. The extensive damage does mean that the family will likely be displaced for a couple of months. The Red Cross went to the home on Tuesday night to assist with housing. While speaking with Lieutenant Crissa about the fire, he did mention the recent flooding and the fire department's role within the recent events.
Every pump that we have in the city, which is limited resources, are out, and there is a waiting list.
The department is available to assist with flooding, but there are some concerns.
One of the things that we see more commonly is that we go out to these houses and people are calling, they don't know what to do. They haven't had water in their basement 30 plus years. I've lived here all my life, I've never had water. Well, now they have water and it's not deep enough for us to pump.
If there is flooding in your basement, here's something you should know.
Our biggest concern would be that the depth of the water in the basement would extinguish the pilot if you had gas heat, gas appliances, your hot water heater, some other devices, your furnace. Once that gets smothered out, we don't want gas to free flow and cause an ignition problem, as well as electricity, any type of utilities.
And again, if you have 2 to 3 inches of water, the fire department cannot help you, and you must remedy the situation yourself.
Head to your Home Depot, your Lowe's, your local hardware store, get a shop vac or some type of unit that'll pick up the water on your own.
The city's new fire chief will be starting his duties on Monday, and Ricky Plummer will have a very busy first week. Besides the typical first week tasks such as getting to know the people and the city, Plummer is expected to participate in budget discussions. His first day will include a city council meeting in the evening. The search for a new superintendent continues as the school committee interviews the 5 semifinalists that were chosen over the past month. The committee held interview sessions with 3 of the 5 finalists last weekend. Here's a recap. Last Saturday, the school committee interviewed 3 of the 5 superintendent finalists, David DeRossi, Anthony Pope, and Kelly Clunchy. The committee will now interview the other 2 finalists, Marlborough Assistant Superintendent James Jolliker and Douglas Superintendent Nancy Lane. David DeRossi, principal at Revere High School, said, "Coming from a diverse urban community to Marlborough would be a great fit." Anthony Pope, the principal at Weymouth High School, said he brings a wealth of experience, including time as executive director for high schools in Providence and as assistant superintendent in Stamford, Connecticut. Kelly Clunchy, in his 6th year as superintendent for 3 Maine towns, said he is seeking the Marlborough job because he likes the ideals that the school district values. We will be airing the interviews live this coming Tuesday, April 6th, starting at 4 p.m. State Representative Danielle Gregoire and Mayor Nancy Stevens are pleased to announce, along with Ed Carr of the Metro West Regional Transit Authority, the expansion of bus service within the city of Marlborough. Bus service will now be running from the MWRTA hub in Framingham through Southborough and Marlborough to the Solomon Pond Mall every other hour from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Saturdays. A press conference was held last Saturday to celebrate the extended bus service. The Metro West Regional Transit Authority's revamped bus service set its wheels in motion last Saturday, offering residents a free ride every 2 hours from Framingham to Marlborough's Solomon Pond Mall, with stops along the way in Southborough and Marlborough. The day of free rides, to commemorate the new Saturday service, began with a brief celebration as State Representative Danielle Gregoire boarded a bus driven by MWRTA Administrator Ed Carr.
This is a beginning of more connections and more service for the folks who live and work and play in Marlborough.
Carr added that the service will be increased to once every hour after ridership increases.
Our service will be running temporarily every 2 hours, just like the regular Route 7 service that runs Monday through Friday. So if you have a Route 7 schedule, just look at the 9:30 to 5:30 bus and it'll be exactly the same.
During a series of short speeches to commemorate the opening day of Saturday's service, Danielle Gregoire stated that people in this community deserve a bus service that wasn't limited to weekdays.
This is a great thing for our community. We need to be able to get people where they need to go, not just Monday through Friday, but Saturday as well. As Ed said, you know, Saturday is a day for play, but it's also a day to get errands done, and the more we can move people, the better off we're going to be.
Gregoire also thanked Carr for his help seeking federal grant money. Funding for the added service comes from a suburban mobility grant.
I want to thank Mayor Stevens for being a real advocate early on in the process to make sure that Marlborough continued to have service with the Metro West Regional Transit Authority.
MWRTA staff is already in place to oversee Saturday service in Framingham and Natick, so no additional staffing is needed. After comments by Gregoire and Carr, both joined other town officials for a closer look at one of the buses. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, students got the chance to dress for less for this year's prom thanks to a local boutique. But first, the 350th Celebration Committee meets to discuss upcoming events. We'll have that story when we come back. Please stay with us.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. As you know, the city of Marlborough is celebrating its 350th birthday, and there's lots in store for all residents in the coming months. The 350th committee met Thursday night to discuss even more details, and news reporter Hillary Coughlin was there.
With summer approaching, more and more events are being planned by Marlborough's 350 Celebration Committee. We spoke to the chair, Trish Pope, to find out if the pressure is on.
We have a great committee, so there's not a huge amount of pressure on me, you know, as long as you're only as good as your team, and this is really, really a fabulous team, so we're very, very fortunate. Specifically tonight, we're going to be talking about our commemorative book that Peggy Thornton is helping us put together. We're selling sponsorships, and we're going to have some historical data in there. It's going to be a great calendar of everything that's going on. And we need to figure out our levels of sponsorship and things like that, because folks are coming forward now, businesses and things. They're very excited, and I think the closer we get, the bigger the momentum builds up.
One of the largest events coming up is a reenactment and celebration happening on June 12th, right on Main Street.
We're very fortunate we meet here at the police station, and Chief Leonard has been fabulous to us, because it is going to involve, you know, a lot of people on Main Street that day. The Historical Society's having an event as well that day.
Labor Day weekend is a busy time for events put on by the 350 committee. One significant event is the opening of the time capsule, which has been buried since 1960.
The library has contacted us, and they're going to be opening the time capsule the Sunday of Labor Day weekend, which is very, very exciting. It was with explicit instructions that it was to be opened on the 350th of the city. So we're very excited to open it and see what's in there and work with the library to have a great event over there.
Trish credits her fabulous team for staying organized and committed, and wants people to know it's not too late to get involved with these great events.
It is not too late to join us. Check out our website, marlborough350.org. There's a link on there where you can volunteer. We have great events planned, but we need people to help us execute these events. So if you don't want to go to meetings, that's fine. Contact us and let us know that you have some time to give, and we will give you something to do.
From Marlborough this week, I'm Hillary Coughlin.
Students who are looking to dress for less at their proms this year browsed through a selection of free new and used gowns, accessories, and makeup at the annual Metro West Princess Boutique that took place last weekend. Here's more on the 4th annual Princess Boutique. The Metro West Princess Boutique was open at Assabet Valley High School from 9 to 4 p.m. Coordinator Maureen Ahern said students from all schools and financial backgrounds were invited to make an appointment to have one of the boutique's personal shoppers outfit them head to toe with formal attire at no cost.
When they come through the door, they meet an adult or a college student who will act as a personal shopper for them, and then they go through the entire gym, and they'll take the time to try on as many dresses as they'd like, find the shoes and accessories that they need.
Princess Boutique clients were not only treated to a day of one-on-one with a personal shopper, but seamstresses from the New England Association of Sewing and Design were also available to ensure that dresses fit to please.
They will alter their dress for them, and then they take everything and head home and hopefully have a really wonderful event. It's a really tremendous day. It's a lot of fun. The kids have a really great time. All of the volunteers have a really great time. I mean, it's really positive energy from start to finish. We have a lot of the women's, junior women's leagues clubs from here, Marlborough, Northborough, Worcester, and as a group, it's just really nice to be able to give back to young women.
Ahern hopes more students will take advantage of the opportunity to save on prom necessities next year, especially considering stress parents may be facing due to the economy. Ahern also mentioned that the Junior Women's Club will be taking over the event for years to come.
I'm going to pass the baton to the Marlborough Junior Women's Club, and they have a committee that will take this on. So certainly people can contact me still at the school because I'm going to remain involved because I can't wait to just volunteer and help dress up the kids. So that would be either through me or the juniors.
This event would not be possible without the generous support of numerous volunteers.
Thank you to all the people who have been so supportive and volunteer their time and efforts and their generosity to make this happen, because it wouldn't happen without a lot of help.
Sticking with our students, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West is about to hold their annual Teen Job Fair. The event brings together local businesses and hundreds of students in hopes of helping many attain jobs. Here are the details for this year's event. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West will be hosting its 8th annual Teen Job Fair on Thursday, April 8th. The event, which runs from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the clubhouse located at 169 Pleasant Street, is in collaboration with the Metro Southwest Regional Employment Board. Local companies will accept applications to fill full-time and part-time positions. Young adults who are at least 16 years old and are looking for summer, weekend, or after-school jobs can network with local businesses looking to hire in the local communities. Last year, the Teen Job Fair attracted almost 250 young adults from Marlborough, Hudson, Southborough, Northborough, Framingham, Sudbury, and surrounding communities. Companies that participated last year included local financial institutions, Best Buy, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, Starbucks, and Dairy Queen. Participants can also interview for positions at the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West as counselors for summer programs. Coming up next, we'll have your Pet of the Week. Plus, we hear from Marlborough's own Bobby Butler as he makes his debut as an NHL hockey player this past week. And we'll also introduce to you a racquetball duo who has recently attained national recognition. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Today we have Freckles. And Freckles is a really sweet little hound mix. She came to us from a rescue group in Virginia. She's about 1.5 years old. She's a spayed female. She gets along great with other dogs. She walks really nice on a leash, but she is a hound. So she makes that hound barking sound that they make, and she does like to follow her nose. But if you read up on hounds and you're still interested, please call us about Freckles. The number at the shelter is 978-443-6990.
Hello Marlborough, Rob O'Keefe back with another sports update. The first time every kid laces up their skates, a dream is born to maybe someday play in the NHL. On Thursday night, when Marlborough's Bobby Butler stepped onto the ice wearing an Ottawa Senators jersey, a dream was realized. Bobby Butler, playing 5 seasons for the Marlborough Panthers, making varsity in 8th grade, racked up 284 points in 116 games. He would go on to play 4 years for the University of New Hampshire, where this year he led the country with 29 goals and was 3rd in overall points in Division I hockey. His college career ended on Saturday night, and by Sunday the phone was ringing off the hook with offers from NHL teams. We caught up with his former high school coach, who also happens to be his dad, to tell us about that emotional day.
It was a crazy day. A lot of great things were said about my son. A lot of great interest, and we just talked about what was best for Bob, and we'll give him the best opportunity to play. And then we went down to Ottawa. They really were strong on him. They wanted to come up right away to the NHL level to get a taste of it, see what it was like, and he was excited. It was on the East Coast, so it would be close to home.
In a phone conversation on Wednesday, we asked Bobby what he thought of his first few days in the NHL.
It's pretty crazy, everything's like I pictured. Just top end everything, and it's just crazy. It's a dream come true.
For the young hockey players in the area, Bobby will most certainly become a role model.
It's good for the local kids. It just shows that you can play youth hockey. You can play your friends growing up. You can play your high school with your friends, play juniors, go to a good college, get a degree. He's going to get his degree, which is more important than anything for me, really. And then get an opportunity to play in the NHL. So he's really had some. It's really been a storybook career for him.
This year, Butler has already won Hockey East Player of the Year, the Walter Brown Award, and minutes before we conducted our interview, his father received news that Bobby has a great chance of earning college hockey's most prestigious award.
Yeah, I just found out about an hour ago that he was top 3 at Hobie Baker Award, which is pretty awesome. So I'm pretty proud of that, which is unexpected. But he's a great kid. He's worked hard. So.
Bobby has worked hard, and now he has reached the pinnacle of a great career. He wanted to thank all his family and fans back home in Marlborough for all their support.
I want to say thanks for all the support over the years. Couldn't have done it with everyone back home, and my family, my friends, my friends, of course, and my family, and all my coaches throughout my whole life.
So Thursday was Bobby's big night, and the place to catch the game was at Sully's First Edition, where Butler's UNH jersey is proudly displayed on the wall, and a large contingent of the Bobby Butler fan club gathered to cheer on the pride of Marlborough.
This is a big event for the city and the whole area. He's a hometown hero. I've watched this kid since he was a squirt. Everyone knew something special about him. And then what he's doing now with the Hobie Baker finalists, and tonight playing in the NHL, it's a big thing. It's a big thrill for Marlborough, his parents, his family, and everyone in this whole entire town area is so proud of this kid. And he's a train that just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling.
The crowd had a lot to cheer about. Butler had a good chunk of playing time, and with the Bruins season once again not looking so hot, Marlborough may have a new team to root for.
I haven't thrown my black and gold away, but I did go down the mall today, and I got 2 Ottawa Senators hats. I got a white one and a black one, and I was a BC fan, college, and I became a UNH fan, but now Bruins in Ottawa, so they're both in the East, so we'll root for both.
Moving on to more incredible athletic achievements. Racquetball is a sport that gained popularity in the 1980s, yet to this day most high schools, including Marlborough High, don't offer the sport. This didn't stop Marlborough's Courtney Chisholm and Kayla Pereira from conquering the racquetball world head-on. The duo recently traveled to Portland, Oregon, where they won their 2nd national racquetball doubles championship. But with limited exposure in the country to racquetball, where did these girls pick up their love for the game?
Actually, my dad started playing, and then like in between matches, I would just hop on the court and start playing. And then I got lessons with Marcia, who's the club pro here at Wayside. Ever since then, I've just been addicted, and then me and Kayla got into it. We started playing.
Oh, I started when I was about 7 or 8. Parents kind of came down. They signed up for the gym. They wanted to like get back in shape and everything, and then they signed me up for lessons too. And I really liked it. I played straight for a few years, and then I kind of fell out of it for a couple of years or so. Then back on, then back off, and now. Since Courtney wanted to bring me to Oregon, actually it was Missouri the first year, since she told me, Kayla, I want you to come with me, I've been, back on the track since then. So
I make sure she stays on the court.
Yeah.
Marcia Haywood has been the girls' coach since an early age and has seen their development firsthand through the years.
They started with multi-bounce, where the ball bounced once or twice. They start with basic form, just the basic idea of the game. They have now developed into having these beautiful forehand, backhand swings, and great serves, ceiling ball play strategy, and they click together, obviously, as a doubles team out in Portland.
So what can we expect from this team in the future?
My long-term goal would be to go back and do a three-peat with her. It's my senior year. It's going to be her junior year, so it's going to be our last time playing doubles together. And she's going to have 2 years playing singles, but it's our last year playing doubles, so it'd be nice to take that. And then obviously to win, I'm going to be going to Worlds too, so I want to win that obviously too.
Due to the rainy weather this week, most of the high school games were postponed. One team that has got some games under their belt is the boys volleyball team, who are off to a perfect 4-0 start. They had wins over Millis, Valley Tech, Algonquin, and Fitchburg. They actually haven't even lost a match yet, so congratulations to them. Congratulations are also in order for the Marlborough High girls track team, who won their first meet of the year over Westboro 73-72. The Panthers had a big day from Kristen Roberts, who won the high jump and triple jump, and Allie Oram won the mile and the 800. That's it for sports. Back to Kristen.
This week brought in more rain, but it's all about to change. Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at a warm 5-day forecast.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Dental Associates of Marlborough has announced that they will be holding a free dental clinic for those without dental insurance. The event will be aimed around kids, which is coming up on Saturday, April 17th, and they would like to see as many patients as possible. Please call 508-485-1800 to make an appointment. They are located at 222 Bolton Street. Don't forget that Assabet Valley High School will be offering Easter brunch this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the school's Epicurean restaurant. Brunch is $16.95 for adults, $8.95 for children ages 5 through 10, and kids under age 4 eat for free. To make a reservation, please call 508-263-9870. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the search continues as 4 finalists have been chosen to fill the school's superintendent's seat. A heated discussion between City Council members and the city's legal department occurred at this week's Operations and Oversight Committee meeting. Plus, the Wellness Committee aims to continue to provide wellness programs to our students. And our local ambassador to Haiti is back, and she has quite the story to tell. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. The city is now one step closer to finding a new superintendent for the Marlborough Public School System. Here's more on this week's top story. The school committee on Tuesday night narrowed its superintendent pool to a final 4, cutting the number of candidates by 1. Kelly Clunchy, superintendent for 3 Maine towns, Revere High School principal David DeRossi, Marlborough assistant superintendent James Jolliker, and Weymouth High School principal Anthony Pope will move on to the final round. Douglas superintendent Nancy Lane did not make the cut. The school committee interviewed Clunchy, DeRossi, and Pope on March 27th, and Jolliker and Lane on Tuesday night. During Jolliker's interview, he did emphasize his collaborative approach and work in the Marlborough department. Jolliker has been assistant superintendent in Marlborough for about 5 years. Jolliker has not been a classroom teacher, but he did say he has taught in community college. He was an assistant superintendent in Sutton from 2001 to 2005, and he also served in the building committee in Auburn, where he lives, for 6 years. School committee members will now visit the finalists' home districts in the coming weeks and will figure out how and when the public will participate in interviews. The committee also hopes to choose a superintendent by the middle of May. Superintendent Mary Carlson is retiring in October.
Monday night, the City Council supported 2 major business projects, a proposed Sonic drive-in restaurant and the addition of a 6th rink at the New England Sports Center. The Council unanimously approved the special permit for Sonic. The chain proposes building a restaurant on Route 20 next to the Bank of America and across from the Hannaford Plaza. The restaurant would likely take about 6 months to build. In addition, the Council unanimously approved the New England Sports Center's special permit amendment to add a 6th rink. The rink at 121 Donald Lynch Boulevard received extensive support at its public hearing before the Council in March. A few neighbors opposed the project, raising worries such as loitering and light spilling onto their property. The Urban Affairs Committee discussed those worries, and the business agreed to several changes in the plan, including the addition of a security camera. Rink construction would likely take about 17 weeks. Center representatives said they hope to open the rink in September. Councilors still have questions about the city's legal office after an often testy discussion about its work this week. Council President Arthur Vigent had asked the Operations and Oversight Committee to examine the efficiency of the city's legal office. On Monday, the committee took up the issue for the second time. Councilors told City Solicitor Donald Ryder they were surprised that the mayor's office had called law firms with legal questions. Topics included conflict of interest and negotiations. Councilors said they aren't clear who the legal office represents, the mayor or the city. The Operations and Oversight Committee tabled the discussion. At the first meeting in March, councilors complained that it takes too long to get an answer from the legal office. Ryder suggested that councilors give the department a time frame for answers. He also recommended that any emails sent to him should also be copied to the rest of the department in case he is out. The school district's Finance Subcommittee has recommended a fiscal 2011 budget of $48.5 million, about $500,000 more than the superintendent's proposal. The board's proposal is a $1.33 million or 2.82% increase over fiscal 2010. The school committee will hold a public hearing on the budget at its meeting on April 13th. The committee plans to vote on the budget at its April 27th meeting. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
To continue with our schools, at the end of this month, parents are encouraged to join the staff at the 4 to 7 school to learn more about what it has to offer. We spoke with 4 to 7 school principal Dan Hannigan to learn more.
Putting this together, I think it'll be a very informative night, and I would like to see everybody come out and check out the school.
On Wednesday, April 28th, parents are encouraged to join the staff at the 4 to 7 school to learn more about the school and what it has to offer. From 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., parents will get the chance to ask questions, meet with staff, and get to know the school better.
We're going to meet in the auditorium at 6:30, give a general overall brief, and we're going to have teachers available, faculty and staff. In the cafeterias, we'll have a 4-5 cafeteria and a 6-7 cafeteria. So those parents and families who are transitioning from the 3 elementary schools can go in and learn more about the 4th and 5th, and then those parents whose child's transitioning to the middle school then could come into the 6-7, or you can do both.
The idea is to give parents the opportunity to talk about curriculum, extracurricular activities, including band and physical education, art programs, City Kids 1 and 2, and anything to do with how the school works.
We'll just spend a night together talking about those things that are important to everybody and answering those questions.
In addition to this great event, the school will also be aiding the Marlborough Food Pantry by holding a food drive called Stuff-A-Bus.
We traditionally have done that the first part of June, so we'll be getting more word out, and we'll be collecting throughout the schools, throughout the city, in key locations, and collecting canned goods and things for about a week or so. We have a kickoff over a weekend, and we're getting information out, and we're trying to raise tons of food to go to the food pantry.
Hannikin believes that the 4 to 7 school has a lot to offer the children of this community and is grateful that there is now a chance for parents to see it.
Come out and kick the tires of the school and check it out and talk to the teachers, and hopefully you'll find out that we do wonderful, wonderful things, and we have a very comprehensive education here.
The Wellness Committee met this past Wednesday night to evaluate the current wellness programs that are currently going on in the city, but also to meet and talk about additional programs that they would like to offer in the future. We spoke with committee member Leslie Crowley to learn more.
We have one of our probably 6 to 8 monthly meetings that we have for the whole community wellness council to get together, kind of regroup, find out what's going on, what works, what doesn't work, get new ideas. So that's what today is.
The City of Marlborough's Wellness Committee came out on Wednesday night to discuss the current state of the wellness programs offered to our students. With no current grant to help fund these programs, the committee is now looking to continue with the wellness offerings by looking to the community for help.
All of our programs that we've run in the past have been very cost effective, and we've not charged the kids for them, and we want to continue to do that.
Programs like Mission Nutrition, Walking Wednesdays, and the Walking Lunch Bunch will all be continuing this year. The 4 to 7 fitness room continues to help students work on exercise moves and aims to teach kids how to exercise the right way. It's not just physical education that's being taught in the schools, it's eating habits as well, and change has started in the school's cafeterias.
Aramark and Roland have done fantastic things about changing all of the menu items, so those have gotten extremely healthy, which we're really lucky.
The next event that we can all look forward to is the first Walking Wednesday, where kids walk to school with parent and volunteer supervision.
We will be starting the Walking Wednesdays on April 28th, which is the Wednesday right after April vacation, and Massachusetts Walk to School Day is May 5th, and we've got some really fun ideas planned.
The committee welcomes all feedback from the public and is looking for additional members to join their committee.
We were affected by the teachers this year, and funding, unfortunately. However, we're looking for new ideas, we're looking for new energy, we're looking for new people.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the Boys and Girls Club holds their annual Team Job Fair. But first, our local ambassador to Haiti, Ellen Santos, is back. That story is next. Please stay with us.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things, such as cooking popcorn, could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Ellen Santos, a nursing teacher at Assabet Valley High School, recently took a trip to Haiti to help those less fortunate. Her decision to go happened before the recent earthquake, so her trip was much different than she originally planned. We talked with Ellen this past week to see how she's doing.
All of the population are very traumatized, very frightened about what had happened to them.
A local nursing teacher from Assabet Valley High School recently took a trip of a lifetime to Haiti to help those less fortunate through an organization called Bread of Compassion.
I got involved with the organization through one of my students who graduated last year, Kate Lynch. And Kate's very committed to this group. This was her 8th trip and my very first.
Prior to her trip, Santos had collected as many items as she could, thanks to donations from people around her, to bring to Haiti to distribute.
It was an amazing experience to be there and to see people in so much need. We were able to help some people, but the need is really overwhelming.
Santos and the team of about 20 who went to Haiti saw mostly women and their children. Santos admits the line of people to help never ended.
We'd arrive at the village or at the tent city, and there would be hundreds of people waiting for us. And throughout the day, it felt like the line never went down. And then at the end, we were told, you know, you need to stop now. That's your last patient. And it was always so difficult because you'd look up and there would be so many more people waiting to see you.
Santos described her surroundings to us, stating that there were tents upon tents upon tents everywhere you looked, but despite those conditions, everyone took care of his or her appearance.
They were very clean, their clothes were very clean, which was really kind of amazing to us that they live under those conditions and are able to take care of themselves as well as they do.
Santos described one of her most treasured moments from her trip, and it was during a mass in a church. When she spoke about it, you could tell what the moment meant to her.
People were singing and dressed in their best and just with great faith for better days to come, even living under such terrible circumstances.
Santos helped those less fortunate, took a trip that was quite scary for her, and experienced something most people would be too apprehensive to try. And she is an inspired person because of it.
I met some people that I truly admire. There were people in our group who are headed back there, are signed up to go again, and have not lost their commitment to Haiti, which is really inspiring to me.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West held their 8th annual Teen Job Fair this past Thursday night. The annual event brings together companies and students to help make the process of looking for jobs and filling job positions easier. We attended Thursday's event to bring you more details. Teens interested in summer or after-school work may have found what they're looking for at an annual job fair on Thursday night. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West hosted its 8th Teen Job Fair from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Pleasant Street Clubhouse. The fair has grown dramatically since the first one drew 10 companies, but only 13 people looking for jobs. Last year, about 250 teens from Marlborough, Hudson, and other local communities went to the fair.
Last year was one of those years where we were like, you know, it's a real big need, the economy's tough, you know, we were really happy with the success. You know, of course, the economy is tough, so that equals, you know, employers kind of a little weary to come out and provide the support, just because they don't really need many employees. But the students, if you notice, every year have grown.
The number of employers has dropped in recent years, likely because of the economy. The organization has also seen older teens lately with a tough job market. Businesses included Best Buy, Dairy Queen, Hannaford, Marlborough Hospital, Marlborough Savings Bank, and Old Navy.
You know, on top of the fact that they get exposure in the community, they end up getting to pull from the finest of Metro West. You know, it's not a lot of times where these companies can set up a job fair booth and have a lot of entry-level people come up, you know, in one shot.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West also interviewed for summer program counselor jobs. The fair has averaged about 40 placements per year in the last 3 years.
We've always talked about the main approach to the job fair is to give the students the experience, the education, the availability to come to a job fair and speak to 20 employers in one night. They leave here without a job. That's not really a bad thing because they're going to know, you know, next time I need to be more prepared. I need to have references ready. I need to have I need to dress nicer, I need to do all these things that maybe I didn't realize the first time.
St. Mary's Credit Union hosted a resume and interviewing skill session. Human resource employees from Fidelity Investments helped teens fill out applications and answered any questions. The job fair is for young adults from local communities who are at least 16 years old. The fair runs in collaboration with the Metro Southwest Regional Employment Board.
Good experience for the companies, it's a great experience for the students, and we're happy to provide that.
Speaking of jobs, this man has a very interesting one. Peter Ivanovich recently visited the Marlborough Hills Rehab Facility to educate the community about appraising items. Local residents brought their most treasured belongings to see what they're worth, but according to Peter, there's more to the process than you might think.
I tell people what's hot, what's not hot, where to look, and how to look for your items that could be valuable, so that they can find out for themselves.
Marlborough Hills, a local short-term rehab facility, recently hosted an appraisal event at their facility to bring a new and different activity to their patients, residents, and the community as a whole.
We thought it would be fun, something for the community. We like to do different programs throughout the year of interest to people in the community. We have lots of things going on here for our patients and residents, but we also like to do things for the community, and we thought this might be something fun and different.
The event got a lot of residents and employees at the facility excited, as it's not every day that you have your most treasured belongings looked at for their value.
I got a plate at an auction years ago, a set of plates, and I think they're worth a lot more than I paid, so I'm very excited.
Ivanovich, who works for New England Appraisal Services, says appraising is not what most people think.
A lot of people have seen the Antiques Roadshow on TV, right? And they associate that with bringing things in that they might have found from a junkyard, from their great-grandmother's house, they found it in the attic or something like that, hoping that somebody like me is going to tell them that it's worth $1 million. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't happen that often.
Because people usually have this misconception, Ivanovich begins his appraising program with an educational talk. After the talk, residents brought their items to him to see what they're worth.
Kind of like what's on TV. I'll have a look at it, I'll ask them a lot of questions, and from my experience, I'll be able to give them an idea of what the value of their item is.
While Ivanovich is educated in appraising, he does admit he doesn't know everything about all items brought to him, and if he needs to, he will take photos of a particular item, do some research, and he'll get back to the owner within a few days with more information. By doing these appraisal events, Ivanovich hopes to educate people as to where to look for special items and what options people have if and when they find a valuable item.
If they want to donate it, sell it, I can help them with that as well. I'll give them information.
Coming up next, one local dentist office plans to help those in need. We'll have your pet of the week, plus your sports wrap-up. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. We want to remind you that Dental Associates of Marlborough will be holding a free dental clinic for those without dental insurance next weekend. The event will be aimed around kids, which is coming up next Saturday, April 17th, and they would like to see as many patients as possible. Here are the details.
Those who are really in need is to provide a dental service where they can all get updated x-rays, cleanings, dental education, and just help those that are, unfortunate at this time.
Dr. Sanjeev Nair and his staff at Dental Associates of Marlborough will be holding a free dental clinic on April 17th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to provide cleanings for local children without dental insurance.
Our staff is very much on board with this as well. They're all volunteering their Saturday because they feel as passionate as I do about this. So, all 5 of us, all 5 chairs, we went full all day long to see how many we can help.
Having moved his practice to Marlborough just 8 months ago, Dr. Nair feels it's important to give back to the community.
I really feel in giving back to the community as any way I can. I just started, but one of the things I feel that's very important, especially in this day and age, especially the way the economics of the country is trying to give back to the communities.
Nair encourages parents to make an appointment for a 15-minute cleaning and educational session to promote good dental hygiene at a young age.
So the big thing what we want to do is we want to first give them a thorough cleaning and prophy, give them exam, let them know if there's any areas where they may have decay or cavities, and where needed we want to update their x-rays to just better inform them of their dental situation.
In the future, Dr. Nair would like to bring even more to dental associates by utilizing more office space and providing even more to his patients.
Eventually what I'd like to do is broaden this practice where it'll be a multi-specialty facility where I can provide all aspects of dental care for the patient, where they wouldn't have to go to another office to see a different specialty. I could have them everything done in-house. For me, that way, my biggest thing is comprehensive care, and I feel by having the doctors in this facility, I can better take care of the patient's needs.
To book an appointment for your child, please call 508-485-1800.
To make it a little bit organized for everyone, I would love to have them call the office, and that way we can set up proper time for them, and then it'll streamline the office flow so they've been seen in a timely manner.
We're here today with this cute little white fluff ball who, I don't know why, but is named Brownie. He's a great little dog. He's 7 years old. He is, like a lot of little dogs his size, had not had much training, because people tend not to give as much training to small dogs as they might have the bigger ones. So he's definitely going to need some help with his manners. Not a child dog. He's also going to have some surgery here at Buddy Dog to repair a condition called cherry eye, which he will have done before he's adopted. He is a non-shedding dog. He's a Maltese, a little chubby Maltese, so he will need to be groomed every month or two in order to keep his coat nice, but he won't be shedding hair, fur all over your home, which is nice too. So if you're interested in little Brownie, please feel free to give us a call at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Hello Marlborough, Rob O'Keefe back with another sports update. On May 20th, Marlborough High gymnast Catherine Stesick will make history by becoming the first Panther gymnast to compete in a national competition. She will be one of just 16 gymnasts chosen to represent Massachusetts in the big event, being held this year in Fort Myers, Florida.
It's an honor. It's obviously it's very cool, first time for Marlborough, and it's something I didn't expect, so it's a very cool experience.
Stesick has made the varsity team every year since 8th grade. She was also named MVP for the past 5 years. This year she broke personal records in the floor, beam, and all-around programs. Coach Tommy Thompson says not only will she be competing in nationals, but the Massachusetts team has a great chance of winning.
And we are by far the finest national team for high school in the country. They've won 5 out of the last 7 years. So, and they plan on the 8-peat, whatever that would be called. They only build a team of champions. They take the best they can possibly take. Catherine's big time event is balance beam. While she can help the team on every event, that's where they really decided that she made the team, because she has 3 or 4 different beam routines she can actually do, all of which have complete difficulty. So she starts at a very high score to begin with, and that really helps the team.
Catherine has applied to a number of Ivy League schools, and Thompson says, as great as a gymnast she is even more impressive off the mat.
Well, it's hard to say that you can be better at something else, but she's even better at that. Obviously, if all the Ivy League schools are looking at her as a candidate, it tells you where she is academically. I've had Catherine since she was 6 years old, so for 12 years, I've never had one issue with this young lady. I mean, that's statistically impossible, but it did happen. Just the product of a fantastic family, and they've been supportive of us from the beginning. And this young lady is just very talented, and she's a leader from the get-go.
So what's on tap for Stesic next year?
I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting until all my letters come in, but I mean, as far as gymnastics goes, if it's there, I'll love to try out for the team, and if I make it, great. I'd love to compete. But if it's not there, even if there's a club team, I just want to keep participating in the sport.
Wherever she goes next year, finishing her unbelievable years with Marlborough High School in a national competition is a fitting conclusion to a storybook career. On to some highlights now. The girls lacrosse team is playing in a higher division this year, which means tougher competition. One of those teams is Algonquin, who they went up against on Tuesday. Heather McDonald and Emily Pruz, who each had hat tricks, led the Tomahawks to a decisive victory. Marlborough's Kate Brecken had 2 goals for the Panthers. Unfortunately, those were the only 2 goals for the Panthers, and Marlborough would go on to lose 16-2. Some better results for the boys' track team, who crushed Gardner on Wednesday afternoon 121-24. Senior Carl Chung took the long jump and the 110-meter hurdles. Mike Kahali won the shot put and the discus. Junior Hayden Voss took first place in the 2-mile and the javelin. The team is now 2-0 and is preparing for a big meet against Hudson on Wednesday. Let's check out some scores from around the area. That'll do it for this week. Back to Kristen.
The birds were out, flowers were blooming this week thanks to the beautiful weather and warmer temperatures, but that's about to change. Looks like some cooler weather is on its way. Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. State Senator Jamie Eldridge will host the 30th Annual Senior Conference in Marlborough on Thursday, April 22nd from 9 to 3 at Assabet Valley Regional High School located at 215 Fitchburg Street. The conference, free for all seniors, will feature a wide variety of services, workshops, food, and entertainment. The conference provides vital information to all seniors. This will be the second time that Eldridge has hosted the long-standing event. And before we go, the American Red Cross will be holding a local blood drive next Wednesday, April 14th from 2:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Masonic Hall on the corner of Main and Newton Streets. They're looking to collect 48 pints of blood. If you're free and would like to donate, please call 1-800-RED-CROSS for more information. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Mayor Nancy Stevens was the distinguished speaker at a breakfast held this past week. Going once, going twice, Corbin Plaza is sold yet again. Plus, the city's new fire chief begins his duties. And later in this half hour, Clean Sweep 2010 is right around the corner and the city needs you. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Mayor Nancy Stevens discussed the present concerns for the city of Marlborough in a forum this past week at the Holiday Inn thanks to the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce. On the top of her list Tuesday morning was to address the recent surprise visit from President Barack Obama.
The fire chief and police chief both happened to call, but I was in a meeting, didn't take the call. About 15 minutes later, the police chief beeps me on the Nextel and says, "Let me preface this by telling you this is not an April Fool's joke."
Mayor Nancy Stevens began her talk at the Chamber of Commerce Distinguished Speaker Breakfast with an apology to all residents who she had disappointed a few weeks ago regarding the president's visit to Marlborough.
I am sorry to those of you that I did not call. I was getting phone calls on my cell phone saying, "Can I come? Can I come? Can I come?" And I'm like, I can't. I really can't let you in. So I apologize to those of you who really thought that I should have called you.
Once that was out of the way, Stevens spoke about a few updates. First, the upgrades to the water treatment plants.
We've been working very hard to make sure that you have what you need, and that's the infrastructure needs to increase your businesses here in the community, and we're going to work very hard to make sure that we as a city prevail. We have done everything right over the last 4 years, and we will prevail on this issue.
Stevens then addressed the newly renamed Marlborough 2010 Corporation.
Right now, we have a new executive director, we have a staff for the first time, and we are making great strides.
Then it was on to the recent superintendent's search. As of this week, there are 4 finalists.
I want to thank the search committee, all of those people that served on the search committee, because it was, it's a huge task.
Stevens continued with the school system as she remarked about the current strategic plan that the district is involved with. The school committee hired a strategic planning group to come into the city to aid in this process.
They did interviews with staff, they had focus groups. I know looking around there was a lot of you that had participated in these focus groups. And they really wanted to understand what the school system, what the community thought of the school system, what we need moving forward, and what we as a school committee have for a vision.
Stevens topped her talk off with an update with the city's 350th birthday celebration plans and a thank you to the businesses of this community.
I want to thank you personally for your commitment to this community, because you really have allowed us to do all of these great things, and I'm very grateful for your support for this community. Half of you don't even live here, but you work here. But you've made this part of your commitment to this community. So I want to thank you so much for that.
Immediately following the mayor's speech, President and CEO of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Morielli-Lieber, took a moment to honor a member of the business community with an award.
Every year we have a Biz-to-Biz showcase, which is like our mini expo, where businesses can work with other businesses and show and display their services. And the best booth that we had at our last Biz-to-Biz showcase was St. Mary's Credit Union. So here is your official plaque.
I'd like to thank Sue and the Chamber for this award. Participating in the Business Expo is a thing that we enjoy doing every year. We intend to fully be back again this fall. Business is about people doing business with people, and this was a great chance for us to do just that. So thank you very much.
On Monday night, the Finance Committee supported additional money for renovations to one of the city's fire stations and money to repair flood damage at the Walker Building. The city had already allotted money to replace the floor at the Pleasant Street station, as it could not hold the weight of trucks, but workers found more problems when they tore up the floor. The project's cost had shot up to about $100,000 from an original estimate of $65,000. In the Walker Building at 255 Main Street, the basement flooded during last month's heavy rains. The Finance Committee recommended approving the request to use $45,000 from the Public Facilities Department's electricity account, which has a surplus. The City Council will likely vote on the transfers at its May 10th meeting. During Tuesday's public hearing on next year's operating school budget, a small group of worried residents told the school committee that they support a move to add teachers to the 4 to 7 school as they are worried about class sizes. The board's finance subcommittee last week recommended adding about $500,000 to Superintendent Mary Carlson's recommended $48 million fiscal 2011 budget that would include salaries for 2 teachers in both the 4th and 5th grades. The full school committee plans to vote on the budget at its April 27th meeting. In other business, the school committee announced that the public will get to talk to superintendent finalists when they visit Marlborough. The finalists are Kelly Clenchy, superintendent for 3 Maine towns, Revere High School principal David DeRossi, Marlborough assistant superintendent James Jolliker, and Weymouth High School principal Anthony Pope. School committee members will visit the finalists' home districts in the coming weeks. The school committee hopes to pick up a new superintendent by the middle of May. Superintendent Mary Carlson is retiring in October. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
For the second time in nearly a year and a half, Corbin Plaza, a vacant 24,000 square foot building at 110 Pleasant Street, sold at auction on Wednesday afternoon. Robert McCart, a builder from Lincoln, won the 4-story building with a bid of $330,000. Corbin Plaza, an eyesore for the city for quite some time, thought there might have been some light at the end of the tunnel for this property when a doctor from North Andover won the building in December 2008 with a bid of $310,000 at an auction at City Hall. According to the terms and conditions of sale at the 2008 auction, the city wanted property construction to begin by January 2011 and finish within 2 years. The doctor did replace the windows and vinyl siding, but the inside remains a different story. Without being able to find occupants, J.J. Manning Auctioneers of Yarmouthport was hired to sell the property at a voluntary auction, and as of Wednesday afternoon, Robert McCart of Lincoln is now the owner. While the 2008 auction had about 15 bidders, 4 people signed up for Wednesday's event. The auctioneer started off the bidding at $500,000 before coming down to $250,000, and within about 5 minutes, McCart had placed his winning bid. The mayor says she hopes to work with the new owner on the property's development. Later on that night, just across the street from Corbin Plaza, a birthday party was being held to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of the opening of the Christopher Heights Assisted Living Facility. Of course, a great event was planned for its residents and staff, but we took a moment to look back on the past 2 years, and we spoke with a resident who has been with the facility since the beginning.
It's the 2nd birthday of Christopher Heights. We opened our doors to people in this area on April 14th, 2 years ago today.
Christopher Heights welcomed all residents to watch a musician, eat lots of cake, and drink champagne to celebrate this special birthday. With all the financial constraints an assisted living facility can bring, Christopher Heights makes it easy for residents to explore their options.
Our philosophy is very simple. We have a mission that our residents can stay right here for as long as they want, as long as they're capable, and when they run out of their funds, we have programs that they're able to get involved in.
Christopher Heights allows its residents to live their life to the fullest, something that this facility prides itself on.
Our residents come in, they enjoy life here, they have their own apartment, there's nothing hidden, there's nothing extra, they have everything that they need to remain independent.
And although residents like their independence, if something were to happen, someone is always there.
What happens in the middle of the night if I fall and I'm on the floor? There's always somebody here 24 hours a day.
One resident in particular, Dorothy Kennedy, has been living in Christopher Heights for almost 2 years.
I thank God every day that I'm here. I really feel as though it's home.
We could see as we spoke with Dorothy that she truly feels comfortable living here and that she really does have all that she needs.
It's like being at home. We have our meals, we have the girls we can call on if something's wrong or if we need something. We can talk to most anyone and everyone is good to us.
Dorothy has taken advantage of all what Christopher Heights has to offer, including becoming Vice President of Residency.
And they wanted me to be the Vice President, so every other month the President takes over and every other month I take over.
She was quite excited about celebrating the facility's birthday on Wednesday evening, but what she was even more excited about was the fact that she feels great.
So far, my health has held out, and on the whole, I feel very good.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Clean Sweep 2010 is on its way, and we have the details you need to know. But first, you'll meet the city's new fire chief. That story's next. Please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The city's new fire chief has officially begun his duties here in the city. Ricky Plummer had served as fire rescue chief in Gray, Maine since September 2007 and now plans to end his career here in Marlborough. We sat down with him this week to learn more about him.
I think, in almost 34 years that I've had more than 1 or 2 days that I really didn't want to go to work. For the most part, I wake up every morning happy to go to work, looking forward to it. There's always something different.
Fire Chief Ricky Plummer has been a firefighter for over 33 years, being a fire chief for the past 15.
I've worked in other places, bigger and smaller, and kind of like this type of environment. Saw the job open, and my wife and I really look forward to moving to Marlborough, and after a while it came true, so here we are.
With his over 33 years of experience, Plummer feels as if he knows how a city operates when it comes to fire hazards. Plummer's goal within the city is to provide more safety for the firefighters and the citizens, be able to handle any call with confidence, in addition to handling all situations in a courteous manner. Plummer began his first day with lots to do.
We had a fire Sunday night just before I started, so there's an ongoing investigation on that. So there's just a lot of things going on at the same time. So it was a very busy weekend. This morning has started off busy.
The job of a fire chief is quite involved, and it's not what you might think. Plummer admits that most residents think that the fire chief goes out on every fire and is the acting firefighter in charge, but that's not necessarily true.
Chief firefighters, number one, to make sure that the fire department operates properly, the apparatus responds properly, everybody does their job. Another major part is the budget, to make sure that, oversee the budget, make sure that we don't overexpend the budget, and then lastly, along with the deputy chiefs, enforce the fire codes.
We asked the fire chief about what residents can do to make the fire department's job easier. He said make sure your house number is visible. It might seem like an obvious thing, but house numbers can be a problem, according to Plummer.
Obviously for a fire, when you have it's pretty easy to find it. But if you get a smell of smoke, you get a medical call, anything other than a really working fire, sometimes it's very difficult to find that address.
Despite current and future challenges within the Marlborough Fire Department, Chief Plummer is happy to be here and is eager to help this community.
Glad to be here. You have a great fire department. We're going to make it better, and I think everybody here is looking forward to making it better. Chief Adams did a great job. Continue on in his footsteps and move forward. We're going to have the fire department that you need, very efficient, very well trained, here to handle it.
On Saturday, May 1st, from 9 a.m. to noon, the City of Marlborough will conduct its annual citywide Clean Sweep project. Details of Clean Sweep 2010 were officially announced Thursday afternoon in front of the Public Works Department, and we were there.
Thank everybody for their past participation in our Clean Sweep program. Last year, we collected over 6 tons of trash throughout the city. We had over 200 volunteers that showed out, and we did a tremendous job of cleaning the city up. We're going to talk a little bit about specifics for the day, but one of the major changes for Clean Sweep 2010 is the fact that we are going to be staging at the DPW headquarters, which is right here where we are today, at 135 Neal Street, rather than Memorial Beach.
We're encouraging everyone to look all around the city to find places that do have trash in your neighborhoods, in parks that you use, in conservation lands that you might frequent. Look around, let us know where those places are.
And I hope that we're going to have even better turnout than we have in the past. We had, again, over 200 participants last year and over 6 tons of materials picked up. Let's make this a better year. Let's shoot for 300 people and 7 tons. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on May 1st.
Speaking of cleaning up, the Small Business Association has declared that they are ready to help those affected by the recent severe storms and flooding. Here are some details. Disaster loans up to $200,000 are available to homeowners to repair or replace damaged or destroyed real estate. Homeowners and renters are eligible up to $40,000 to repair or replace damaged or destroyed personal property. Businesses and nonprofit organizations of any size may borrow up to $2 million to repair or replace damaged or destroyed real estate. To be considered for all forms of disaster assistance, please call the Federal Emergency Management Agency at 1-800-621-3362. The filing deadline to return applications for physical property damage is May 28, 2010. The deadline to return economic injury applications is December 29, 2010. After all the severe rain and flooding that numerous residents have experienced over the last month or so, I'd say we're all enjoying spring this year more than ever. We spoke with Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder to talk about what we can look for when we're out and about observing the signs of spring.
Snow melts and it uncovers all kinds of things. Like right here, this brook is, running, babbling along, and everything starts to come alive.
After all of the recent severe weather, spring has officially sprung, and according to Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder, you can see signs of spring everywhere you look.
I think anybody can go out in their backyards and observe spring, and then if you go to some of our conservation lands, you can definitely see signs of spring.
One sure sign of spring is birds.
Bird songs change, like the chickadees, there's chickadees all winter time and they just sort of go cheep, 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 but then in the spring they start saying chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and that's their mating song. So when you start hearing that, you know they're coming around.
One special plant that Ryder pointed out to us is skunk cabbage.
It becomes this big green plant, but right now it's this cool little flower that's very unique.
One sure sign to watch for is trees budding, especially the maple trees.
They're the first trees that really leaf out, and then if you look closely at other buds of tree stalks, and we can look at that, you can see how they're kind of getting fatter and fatter, and pretty soon they're going to break open.
Ryder admits that spring is one of the most fascinating seasons to watch and observe. This season really solidifies her love of nature.
Bugs come out at the right time that the bird needs some food, at the right time that the cat needs a bird. I mean, so the interdependence is so cool, and at spring you kind of everything's coming alive, and you've been stuck behind snow for so long. It's kind of fun to see it all blossoming, literally.
A roller skating fundraiser is coming up this weekend, and we have the details. Plus, we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Relay for Life of Marlborough and Hudson will be presenting Skating for a Cure this Saturday, April 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Roller Kingdom in Hudson. Admission is $5 per person and $15 for a family of 4. All proceeds will benefit the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. Help support the fight against cancer and enjoy a night full of roller skating, prizes, and fun for your entire family. This year's Relay for Life event will take place on Friday, May 21st.
Today we have Althea. And Althea is a local stray, which means that even though she's from the area, we don't know anything much about her because she was picked up and her owner never claimed her. We think she's about 2 years old. She's obviously a shepherd mix. She's very, very active, probably hasn't had much training, but she seems like a nice dog. And with a little bit of help from the right person, it was probably going to make a great family pet. So if you're interested in Althea or any of the other dogs at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
This week brought in lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, but the weekend is looking less than desirable. Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast.
%80 of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Employment Options, a recognized leader in providing a variety of crucial services to individuals recovering from mental illness, will host their annual awards dinner next Thursday, April 22nd at their clubhouse location at 82 Brigham Street. The event will start at 5:30 and Mayor Nancy Stevens will be receiving the Voice of Hope Award. Stay tuned to next week's news for a full recap. And before we go, attention to all seniors, State Senator Jamie Eldridge will be hosting the 30th Annual Senior Conference in Marlborough on Thursday, April 22nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School, located at 215 Fitchburg Street. The conference, free for all seniors, will feature a wide variety of services, workshops, food, and entertainment. This will be the second time that Eldridge has hosted the long-standing event. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, the city's annual senior conference continued this past week, celebrating its 30th year. As you drive down Main Street, you may notice a change to one local bank. Plus, despite funding challenges, one local nonprofit continues to thrive and celebrates with an awards dinner. And later in this half hour, a free dental clinic helps those in need. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. State Senator Jamie Eldridge hosted the 30th Annual Senior Conference in Marlborough this past Thursday. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's 30th Annual Senior Conference.
I feel so overwhelmed. It was such a great turnout, and I think we had one of the biggest turnouts in the history of the senior conference.
This is the second year that the event has been hosted by State Senator Jamie Eldridge, which includes health screenings, food, door prizes, and entertainment. The conference is a day-long event with workshops for seniors covering topics ranging from leisure and recreation to health care and personal finances.
We appreciate any chance we get to bring together 1,500 seniors from 14 different communities and educate them on healthcare and anything from belly dancing to how to eat well in their later years. So I think it's a great day and it's very educational and the seniors love it.
Governor Deval Patrick and Attorney General Martha Coakley attended the 30th Annual Senior Conference that was held on Thursday at Assabet Valley High School.
I think it's the first time in the 30 history of the senior conference that a governor came, so I'm really pleased that Governor Patrick made it out.
Governor Patrick greeted seniors from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and Martha Coakley spoke to the seniors addressing various types of scams such as telemarketing and mail fraud and how to prevent them.
Walking around just while seniors were having lunch and how excited they are about the program. And I think obviously having the governor come out and speak during lunch, and he's working the talking to everybody, and he really is committed to making sure that he understands what the needs are and what the wants are of our seniors.
After Patrick mingled among the seniors, he did address the numerous news crews that were waiting patiently for comment. First up, the 30th Annual Senior Conference.
Very warm, very encouraging. A couple people mentioned some concerns about transportation. I got more than a little advice about casinos and an interest in having a more an expansion of gaming here in the Commonwealth. A lot of people, a number of people offered to volunteer in the campaign too, which I welcome.
Patrick also addressed areas that his administration continues to focus on regarding the senior population.
One is the whole Community First strategy, which is about giving seniors and people with disabilities the option of aging in their homes and in their communities.
Then it was on to casinos and how the seniors feel about the issue.
I had a number of people today say that they really like the idea of slots at the tracks. They prefer destination-style casinos, but they want not to have to go to Connecticut to recreate. And I think we will get a bill this year.
When you drive down Main Street, you may notice a change to one of the buildings. Marlborough Cooperative Bank, a division of Butler Bank, has now been taken over by People's United Bank of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Here are the details. On Friday, April 16th, Butler Bank of Lowell, Massachusetts was closed by the Massachusetts Division of Banks. Subsequently, the FDIC was named receiver. Marlborough Cooperative, a division of Butler Bank, was also affected. All deposit accounts, excluding certain brokered deposits, have been transferred to People's United Bank of Bridgeport, Connecticut. People's United Financial has announced that it has acquired all the deposits, certain assets, and the banking operations of Butler Bank. Marlborough Cooperative will maintain its regular hours, and customers may continue to use normal banking services. The ATM machines and online services will remain available. Customers who have a loan with Marlborough Cooperative or Butler Bank should continue to make payments as usual. The terms of loans will not change. Checks should be made payable as usual and sent at the same address until further notice. The search for a new superintendent of schools is nearing a conclusion, with a decision expected sometime next month. The candidates are Kelly Clenchy, superintendent of 3 Maine towns, David DeRossi, principal of Revere High School, assistant superintendent of the Marlborough Public Schools, James Jolliker, and Anthony Pope, principal of Weymouth High School. Superintendent Mary Carlson is scheduled to retire in October. The school committee has cited July 1st as an optimal start date for her replacement to allow some time for overlap during the transition. The race to replace Peter Jouer in the Ward 4 City Council seat is heating up. If 3 of the candidates who have obtained nomination papers for the upcoming Ward 4 special election file and return those papers, the city will be holding a special election on June 15th to reduce the field to 2 for the final election on July 13th. So far, 5 residents have already expressed interest in replacing Ward 4 City Councilor Peter Jouer, who will step down on June 30th. Well, on to more change. A plan to develop the Walker Estate on Framingham Road, including an adaptive reuse of the home, will need a comprehensive special permit. The late Mayor Frank Walker owned the residence, and when his wife Mercedes passed away, the property fell into disrepair. Built in 1895, the 7,300 square feet of living space is surrounded by more than 5 acres of land. Attorney Arthur Bergeron states that the Melanson Development Group wants to build 25 single and 2-family homes on the estate, 8 of which will be the adaptive reuse of the Walker home and attached barn. Lawmakers have voted to advertise and set a public hearing date of May 10th. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Marlborough-based Employment Options received a makeover on Thursday morning thanks to numerous volunteers. But first, the Marlborough Council on Aging's annual Volunteer Recognition Dinner. That story is next. Please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism. Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. In light of National Volunteer Week, the Marlborough Council on Aging honored those who volunteer their time to help those at the Senior Center. During this volunteer recognition dinner, the Volunteer of the Year is recognized, and this year there happened to be 2 honorees. Here's Hillary Coughlin with more.
Wednesday night, the Volunteer Recognition Dinner was held at the Senior Center as part of National Volunteer Week. This year, there were 2 recipients that received the Volunteer of the Year award. Barbara McGuire and Debbie Bousselet have donated countless hours of their time to the community.
I can't think of 2 individuals who are more deserving, delightful to work with. They definitely keep all of us on our toes and push us out the door. It's just a real pleasure, and it's a wonderful sort of pinnacle of Volunteer Recognition Week.
We were able to catch up with this year's recipients, and they explained to us what motivates them to volunteer.
I've had a very, very good life.
I lost my husband 7 years ago. I moved to Marlborough to be near my daughter. And I just decided I was going to I knew no one, not a soul, and just decided that I was going to get very involved and do what I could to help in the community. And I just, one of those that just can't say no. And I have a lot of personal satisfaction when I put my head on the pillow at night. I think I've done a good deed today, or good deeds, and I'm very happy with that.
I felt that I would like to give back to the community. The community has been very good to me over the year, and I've always felt that I'd like to help the seniors. And I have real warm feeling for them, because so many of the seniors just love to see a friendly face or a friendly visitor. Some of them need help getting to a doctor, and it's just very rewarding to me.
Barbara's daughter, Mayor Nancy Stevens, is proud to be part of a community that is so willing to give back.
We have such a great community that really comes together, and you see the exceptional people that obviously do so much for the community. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and to thank people. I think they do it out of the goodness of their heart, but everybody likes to be thanked.
This is Hillary Coughlin from Marlborough This Week.
On to more award giving, Employment Options, a recognized leader in providing a variety of crucial services to individuals recovering from mental illness, hosted their annual awards dinner this past Thursday night at their clubhouse location at 82 Brigham Street. Despite current fiscal challenges, this nonprofit is going strong.
It's a time of celebration. It's a time of saying great job, and thanks for hanging in there with us, and more importantly, for members who really want to do more in their life.
Employment Options, a recognized leader in providing a variety of crucial services to individuals recovering from mental illness, hosted their annual awards dinner on Thursday night.
We're honored to hold it every year for our employers and for our members. I think that particularly this year, it's been a challenging employment year, and yet our employers have been incredibly dedicated to our members.
The event is put on to honor many of the people who make Employment Options what it is, a place to get critical support for living a full life of dignity and respect.
Well, every year we make sure that our employers get an award as well as our member, because it's a partnership. You can't do one without the other. And this year we're also actually acknowledging a Boy Scout that had won his Eagle Award here because he built and designed our healing garden outside.
The night honored the many employers that give the members of the organization a chance through valuable employment opportunities, and honored those members that have shown great progress in their attempt to recover from mental illness. The organization honored Mayor Nancy Stevens with the Voice of Hope Award, which is presented each year to a member of the community who has helped the organization.
Nancy has been an incredible advocate of Employment Options. More importantly, been incredibly advocating for the dignity of our members. That is really what Employment Options is about.
During a critical time last year of threatened budget cuts at the state level, Mayor Nancy Stevens was instrumental in contacting key players in the administration to advocate for the continued funding of such programs.
You know, when Tony called and there was issues with the funding and it was in jeopardy, and I knew that this program, how valuable it was to the city, that we just couldn't let this program go under because of the financing.
Employment Options' primary funding comes from the Department of Mental Health. Through inspiration, support, and encouragement, Employment Options creates a home away from home where people can overcome barriers to employment and discover personal growth, self-sufficiency, and hope.
You know, we made the case with the governor about how important this program was. I mean, with the closing of Westboro State Hospital, what else do we have? And you know, these are residents of our community that really need our assistance, and we are a community that comes together and helps our neighbors. I mean, it goes back to the whole theme of the Mayor's Charity Balls, neighbors helping neighbors. We will make sure that this program succeeds because we can't afford not to have it succeed.
For more information, please visit employmentoptions.org. Staying with Employment Options, American Profit Recovery of Marlborough gave the facility a makeover this past Thursday morning as they work to clean up the grounds and breathe new life into the area that surrounds the building. APR was part of over 2,000 volunteers in a total of 43 states to participate in this Planet initiative, which was in light of Earth Day.
This is the second annual Planet Day of Service, and Planet is the professional land care network. So they have 3,000 events going on in 38 states nationwide.
American Profit Recovery works closely with lawn care and landscaping companies around the county, and this will be their second year sponsoring this event.
We have a team of about 10 coming out here today. Our Marlborough office is a small satellite office, so we have 10 here, and we have another 15 doing an event in Michigan.
Founded in 2004, APR specializes in the collection of third-party debt in industries such as medical, dental, banking, trades, lawn care, and other professional services.
What American Profit Recovery does is we are a collection agency. So we do collections for a lot of businesses in the lawn care and landscaping industry, which is how we got involved in and endorsed by Planet. We're volunteering here today to clean up and landscape for employment options.
The APR team also removed old tree stumps, planted new shrubs, and mulched the areas around the parking lot and building.
Today is Earth Day, so that's why Planet does this event. The goal of it is to create more green spaces, again, throughout the United States.
In 2009, APR made their debut in the Planet event by providing manpower to plant flowers and landscape, as well as providing funding to help beautify public areas in Massachusetts, Michigan, and North Carolina. Would you like more info? Well, you can visit their website at americanprofit.net to learn more. Details of Clean Sweep 2010 were officially announced last week in front of the Department of Public Works. City officials gathered to discuss the event that will be taking place on Saturday, May 1st. All the city is asking for is 3 hours of your time. Here are more details regarding this important citywide event. On Saturday, May 1st, the City of Marlborough will conduct its annual citywide Clean Sweep project. Participants include residents, elected officials, civic groups, as well as corporate and business representatives. Volunteers are asked to meet at 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 1st at the DPW Municipal Garage at 135 Neal Street to obtain work assignments, supplies, and materials. Extra cleanup items such as gloves and rakes are appreciated. Trash bags and Project Clean Sweep t-shirts will be provided. In 2009, more than 200 volunteers worked for 3 hours collecting 6.6 tons of trash and 120 pounds of recyclable materials. The city's efforts does wonders to spruce up the city through this fun and worthwhile event. Those unavailable to assist with efforts on the 1st can participate by sweeping their respective sidewalk areas into the roadside gutter in their immediate neighborhoods. Also on May 1st, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., the 3rd annual Marlborough Earth Day Fair will be held at Galone Park on Concord Road. Join the city for fun family activities, experts for the adults, educational exhibits, free green giveaways, live music, art, green cars, and more. A free dental clinic for those without dental insurance, your pet of the week, and your local sports wrap-up. It's all coming up next. Don't move, we're back after this short break.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Dental Associates of Marlborough hosted a free dental clinic last Saturday for kids without dental insurance, and we were there. News reporter Samantha Joseph continues our coverage.
Dental Associates of Marlborough donated their time to provide free dental care for children. Throughout the day, they provided free dental care for over 50 children.
What we're having is a free clinic for all children who don't have insurance. We understand it's a little bit tough times these days, so we want to try to help out the community. Everyone on staff is all about teaching these kids and doing whatever we can, so we've been providing cleanings, x-rays, and noting areas of decay and helping out whichever way we can for all these youngsters.
80% of dental disease is found amongst just 25% of children, most of whom are children from low-income households.
Kids don't feel good about their teeth now. That leads to neglect. That leads to self-confidence issues. And nowadays on the other medical side is we're finding more and more diseases that are related to your oral health. So we can influence those children now to take care of their teeth and the importance of home care and hygiene and taking care of your gums. It really carries on.
Tooth decay is one of the most preventable childhood diseases, yet dental care remains one of the most prevalent unmet healthcare needs for children in the United States.
We want to keep things very simple for the kids, so talking about dental decay, might go a little bit over the head, so we talk about a little, referred as tooth bugs. And wanting to prevent these tooth bugs from eating our teeth. And the way we can teach the kids, and keeping it simple, but yet getting those important facts across, really helps the child to understand why they want to take care of their own teeth on their own. If we can just get out to all those kids, as many as possible, and teach them that, well then, we're doing something right.
Dental Associates provided entertainment for kids and families, including food, balloons, and even a clown.
It's the first time I'm doing anything like this, but I just felt it was important for me to try to give back the way I can.
This event is a reminder that dental care is really important for children, so get them started early. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Samantha Joseph.
Today we have Apollo, and Apollo is a handsome hound mix who came to us from a rescue group in Virginia. We think he's about 1.5 years old. He's a neutered male. He's great with other dogs, very friendly dog. Hounds usually are, but they're not good about being left off leash because they like to follow their nose. So Apollo will have to be leash walked only. If you're interested in Apollo, he's going to make someone a great pet. Please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Hey Marlborough, Rob O'Keefe back with your sports action from this week. With school vacation week, the sports schedule was a little thin. We do have a couple of games to show you though. Let's start off Tuesday morning. David Monty on the mound for Marlborough, and this is why they call it the hot corner. Nice play from Bobby Balancieri to save a base hit. Some nice D as well by Wachusett in the bottom of the first. Marlborough with a man on second. A nice scoop by Wachusett first baseman to save a run, and no score after one. Top of the second now, Wachusett with a runner on second sends a fly ball out to left just out of the reach of Kyle Thibodeau, making the score 1-0. Next batter grounded to short, but the shortstop has some trouble handling it, then overthrows first, allowing another run to score. In the same inning, Wachusett makes it 3-0 on a huge RBI triple. Bottom of the second, it would be Marlborough's turn to score. Matt Baroni at the plate with two guys on, smokes one deep to left. Both runners cross the plate, and Baroni ends up with a stand-up double. The score now 3-2. Wachusett then makes it 4-2 in the top of the fourth on an RBI single by Connor McDavid. Then, the bottom of the fourth, the Panthers trying to put a rally together, load the bases, and get one run back on a check swing infield hit by Matt Marazzo. Unfortunately, that would be the only run of that inning, and Marlborough goes on to lose 5-3.
Take it to the hole all day long.
Things turned out better for the boys lacrosse team later that day, taking on rival Hudson. Number 17, Cody Evangelist, take his skates off and give him a pair of cleats, and he still dominates. A couple minutes into the game, Cody doesn't waste any time and puts Marlborough on the board. Just a few minutes later, Mike Getsunis on his own finds the net to make it 2-0. Cody Evangelist looking around for someone to hand off to, but decides to handle it himself, making it 3-0. Evangelist would end up with 4 goals on the day. Marlborough simply putting on a clinic. Brendan Flynn with some fancy stick work finds Kyle Danahy in front of the net, who puts it in. Danahy also with a big game. In the second quarter, Kyle Gilchrist driving downfield to an open Danahy in front of the net. Danahy would end up with a hat trick, and Marlborough would end up 12-3 winners. Now to the local scoreboard.
This week had lots of sunshine and warm temperatures. Will it continue? Let's find out. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. A free internet safety program will be presented at Marlborough Public Library on Monday, May 3rd and Monday, May 10th from 7 to 8 p.m. The May 3rd program is for parents only and will focus on internet security, parental controls, and username suggestions. The May 10th program is designed for children and parents and will focus on cyberbullying, appropriate texting, and posting personal information online. And before we go, we'd like to just remind you that Walking Wednesdays will begin again this coming Wednesday morning, April 28th, where students walk to school under supervision. There's lots of fun planned for the kickoff of this event. You can check out marlboroughwellness.org for routes by school. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, some familiar faces went behind bars for a good cause. A local teacher's life was cut too short as Assabet Valley High School's Chef G dies in a motorcycle accident. Plus, a preliminary election looks to be in the Ward 4 election's future. And later in this half hour, a celebrity roast for a great cause. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Some familiar faces went behind bars for a good cause this past Wednesday to raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on the MDA's lockup event. Business representatives from Marlborough and Sudbury agreed to be arrested for a good cause as they participated in the MDA's lockup event.
They're being charged with having to raise $1,600, which is what it costs MDA to send 2 children to MDA summer camp. So that is their bail. So they're calling on friends, family, co-workers, vendors, saying they're going to be arrested and please bail me out. So a lot of jailbirds were actually very good jailbirds because they actually raised a lot of their bail in advance by emailing folks and sending out a link to their personal web page, and folks can make secure online donations.
This unique community-wide event raises funds for Jerry's Kids. The MDA asked their called-upon jailbirds for an hour of their time to thank them and also to give additional time to raise their bail.
We hope to raise upwards of $15,000 to $20,000, but $1,600 is the goal. It costs MDA $800 to send a child to camp, so some people will adjust their goal to send one kid to camp. Some will do more, some will do less, but it all adds up and goes towards actually all of our services.
The lockup term is taken quite seriously as the deputy chief picks up the jailbird and they are cuffed and escorted into the location. In Wednesday's event, participants were taken to Firefly's restaurant.
Once you're here, you can't leave until you make that judge set your bail and you get the money up.
Once they arrive, they are put behind bars, something that the jailbirds participating have never experienced before.
It's a fun day and it really adds a lot of realism to it, and certainly what we've noticed is that all the people that volunteer in this Muscular Dystrophy Jail Day have never been inside a police car before, have never had handcuffs on before, so for them it's a new experience, and most of them never want to do it again.
These local lockup events happen all year round all across the United States.
Annually, we probably raise anywhere from $45 to $50 million. Locally, we'll probably do about 7 or 8 lockups this coming year in different communities.
Having nationwide recognition does hurt this organization at times, but MDA representatives want you to know that all the fundraising they do locally stays local and helps people in need.
There's families in Marlborough, Sudbury, throughout Central Mass. There's 500 to 600 families that we serve that have any one of 43 of the different neuromuscular diseases that we cover. So it's helping local people, so that's what people feel good about. And in this economy, that makes it even more important, because people, what monies they have, they want to make sure it's given and given locally.
Students at Assabet Valley High School are mourning the death of Clifford Giovannucci, better known as Chef G, the culinary arts teacher who died in a motorcycle accident on Saturday, April 24th. Here's more on his story. Students and staff at Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School are mourning the loss of Clifford Giovannucci, a culinary arts teacher and the school's director of food services, who died in a motorcycle accident last Saturday. Giovannucci, 48 years old, of South Grafton, was known as Chef G to his students. Grief counselors have been on hand this past week at the school to help students deal with their loss. At Assabet Valley, Giovannucci presided over many cooking classes and celebrations, including an end-of-the-year pig roast for his students. He also coached JV and varsity hockey teams at Assabet and served as class advisor for many years. A 1979 graduate of the school, he graduated in 1980 from Johnson & Wales University. State police said Giovannucci was riding a 2002 Harley-Davidson on Route 146 South in Sutton last Saturday when the motorcycle hit the median and threw Giovannucci into the northbound traffic lanes at 3:54 p.m. Giovannucci was taken to UMass Medical Center in Worcester, where he was pronounced dead. His wife of 19 years and his 2 children survive him. Chef G was not only a teacher at Assabet, he also was owner and operator of Clifford's Catering, and he was involved in the Laker hockey organization. He also enjoyed playing hockey, riding his Harley in South Dakota and New Hampshire, fishing with his son Jonathan, and spending time with his daughter Amanda. Chef G was buried as of Friday, April 30th at St. Philip's Cemetery in Grafton. Firefighters quickly put out a house fire on Main Street Wednesday afternoon, saving a few pets in the process. Here's more on Wednesday's West Main Street fire. Firefighters quickly put out a house fire at 115 West Main Street on Wednesday afternoon, saving a few pets in this process. The fire started in a second-floor bedroom, and firefighters contained it to that room, extinguishing the flames within about 10 minutes. Firefighters removed a dog, a cat, and birds from the duplex. The animals are okay, and no one was injured. The fire department does not know the cause yet, but Fire Chief Ricky Plummer says it appears to be accidental. Marlborough police officers took part in a SWAT training last week to help them prepare themselves for future life-threatening situations where they would be reacting first before SWAT teams arrive. The training was held at Assabet Valley High School, and we were there.
They are presented with a bunch of different scenarios that the SWAT team members make up for them. They responded very well.
Marlborough police officers took a field trip to Assabet Valley High School Friday for some serious business training and scenarios from school shootings to hostage situations.
Pre-Columbine, the protocol was that when there was a problem, the patrol officers would set up a perimeter, wait for SWAT, SWAT would go in and take care of the problem, because that particular approach fails so miserably, we're training our officers in active shooter training.
The Central Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council's SWAT team led the training at the school, which was available because of vacation.
The Semlec SWAT team likes to train in all the different facilities that are within the Law Enforcement Council in Central Mass. So they've been here to Assabet before, they've been at the mall, they've been at Marlborough High School, they've been at the middle school.
About 25 Marlborough police officers participated last Friday. Another group took part in training earlier in the month at a vacant office building for workplace shooting simulations. As a result, nearly every member of the police department has received training this month.
It's a learning experience for them because unfortunately now with the way things are, patrol officers are going to be the first responders to a big incident, whether it be an active shooter, bank robbery, hostage situation, any type of thing.
The training is geared toward officers who first respond to a crisis. In a school shooting scenario on Friday, officers patrolling the hallways encountered people playing students and victims as they tried to track the suspects. The training gives officers a sense of proper tactics and different plans for problems.
We've gotten great feedback from it. A lot of the patrol officers are a little hesitant coming into it, but at the end of the day, we've gotten some phenomenal feedback.
Participants did not use loaded weapons during the training. Guns had markers that showed they did not have ammunition.
A large number of residents spoke out this week against a proposed zoning change that could lead up to 70 new homes on Shoestring Hill. The change would allow Moss Development to seek a special permit to build houses in the 88-acre area, bounded by Brigham Street and South Streets, on lots as small as 8,000 square feet. For open space developments of more than 50 acres, without a zoning change, a developer can seek a special permit for lots as small as 15,000 square feet. The preliminary plan would keep 73% of the area as open space, but neighbors said they were still concerned about the project. The developer does not own the land yet, but has it under option. The city is making a push for increased recycling, not only to help the environment, but also to save some money. The City Council's Operations and Oversight Committee is in the middle of the discussions about potentially switching curbside trash pickup from bag to container collection. The proposal on the table calls for residents to use a 65-gallon trash container. The city would lease the containers from Allied Waste for $98,000 per year for 5 years and then would own them. This would be a change since the residents currently put trash bags out on the sidewalk. The city expects that the containers would act to limit the amount of trash put at curbside. Public Works Commissioner Ronald Lafreniere has said he also anticipates an increase in recycling with a switch to the container system. The committee plans to meet in May to discuss the latest proposal. The school committee on Tuesday night recommended a $48.5 million fiscal 2011 budget, a 2.82% increase over the current year. The committee voted 6-0 to send the budget to Mayor Nancy Stevens. The school committee's budget contains no staffing cuts. School department restructuring last year included the cut of 26 employees. The proposed $48.5 million budget is a $1.33 million increase over the fiscal year 2010. In other business, the school committee announced that the public question and answer session for the superintendent candidates will take place next week. On May 4th, Weymouth High School Principal Anthony Pope will take questions at 5 p.m. and Revere High School Principal David DeRossi will follow at 6:15 p.m. On May 5th, Marlborough Assistant Superintendent James Jolliker will face the public at 5 p.m. and Kelly Clenchy, Superintendent for 3 main towns, will follow at 6:15 p.m. The school committee is in the process of visiting the candidates' home districts and hopes to pick up a new superintendent by next month. Superintendent Mary Carlson is retiring in October. For Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
The Marlborough City Council has set its fiscal 2011 budget meeting schedule. Mayor Nancy Stevens plans to submit her budget recommendation to the city clerk's office next week. The Finance Committee is scheduled to hold budget hearings with department heads from May 13th to May 20th. Well, with 4 candidates interested in the Ward 4 seat, a preliminary election has been set for June 13th. Here's more on this year's special election. For official candidates, the Ward 4 City Council race is headed for a preliminary election. Laura Butland, Stephen Kerrigan, Karen Kalachik, and Robert Tunera have returned certified nomination papers to the city clerk's office. A special preliminary election on June 15th will whittle the 4 candidates down to 2. The special general election is July 13th. Ward 4 City Councilor Peter Dwyer is leaving the council on June 30th. Dwyer is moving to Florida to help run his mother-in-law's assisted living facility. May 26th is the last day to register to vote in the preliminary election, and June 14th is the deadline to apply for an absentee ballot for the preliminary. The last day to register for the general election is June 23rd, and July 12th is the final day to apply for an absentee ballot. The Community Development Authority has decided to bring on a temporary director, someone who recently started another leadership role in the city. Marilyn Wally, Executive Director of the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation, will serve as interim Executive Director until the CDA finds a full-time leader. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Walking Wednesdays are back thanks to the Marlborough Wellness Committee. But first, one local bank celebrates their 150th birthday. That story's next. Please stay with us.
Hi, it's Tony Wolf, Executive Director of Employment Options. I want you to join me and others as we salute the public service of former State Representative Steve Ledoux. We'll do this by roasting him. This fun-filled event will take place May 20th at the...
What are you doing?
Steve, we talked about this.
I never heard anything about this.
Sorry. The event will take place at the Best Western Hotel in Marlborough on May 20th. Tickets are $40 and benefit the programs of Employment Options. We're going to try to raise much-needed funds for the organization and have a great time in the process.
So wait a second. Now you're going to raise money at my expense? Who's going to have a good time? It won't be me.
Never mind. Steve Ledoux has been so good-natured about this whole thing, so please log on to employmentoptions.org and find out how you can get tickets. We really need your support, and we'll have a great time.
Good-natured? Good-natured. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot I'm being good-natured about this whole thing. Who do you think I am? How did I get myself into this thing? What did I have to do to you? Was I reading the script?
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Marlborough Savings Bank is currently celebrating its 150th birthday, and as a way to say thanks to their devoted customers, each branch has been holding a birthday party. The bank's main branch at 166 Main Street held their special day this past week, and we were there.
We're having fun today. I mean, the customers are really enjoying this and getting into the celebration.
166 Main Street, the location of Marlborough Savings Bank, was buzzing with excitement on Thursday as bank employees provided a fun, informative environment to say thanks and also to give a little bit of history to the customers walking in.
I believe we are one of the oldest banks in the country, or the one that can say we've been the same for 150 years. It's been the same name, and I especially in this environment, that's an incredible accomplishment.
Besides food and prizes, historical information was available as well as authentic costumes, which were graciously donated for the bank's celebration by the Sudbury and Marlborough Historical Societies.
Each branch took it upon themselves to create a historical presentation for their own community as well. So we have the history of the bank, we have the history of the town, and the historical societies. Southborough for one, Marlborough for another have been fabulous in providing us with some of the obvious costumes that you see.
In addition to the bank's birthday, bank employees are looking forward to the opening of their new bank headquarters that is currently in construction on Granger Boulevard. 166 Main Street bank offices will be moving to the new location, and the current bank location will be made to accommodate a new set of offices.
The main office will be moving to that location, and so the first floor will be the branch. The second floor will be all of our lending group, commercial, residential, and consumer lending, residential mortgages. And the third floor would be administration, finance, marketing, human resources.
In a time of celebration for Marlborough Savings Bank, Bennett also addressed the recent closing of another local bank, Marlborough Cooperative.
Frankly, it wasn't so much Marlborough Cooperative Bank. I think had the issues were primarily in the Butler Bank that actually when they merged. And the one thing I will say, it wasn't representative of most community banks in Massachusetts, because most community banks within the state, and certainly Marlborough Savings Bank, have been doing very well. They stayed away from a lot of the risky lending.
Despite the news, Marlborough Savings Bank continues to thrive as a local bank and will continue these celebrations through the end of May at all of its branch locations.
I think our customers really appreciate what we've been able to provide. Likewise, we greatly appreciate what they've been able to do for us.
Speaking of birthdays, the city of Marlborough is celebrating its 350th, and all city events planned this year hope to be bigger and better than ever. Clean Sweep 2010 is happening this Saturday, May 1st, and all residents are asked to come out and help make this year's event the best yet. Here are the details. Clean Sweep 2010 will bring together city officials, business representatives, and resident volunteers to help beautify our city streets and parks. Volunteers are asked to arrive at 135 Neal Street at 9 a.m. to obtain work assignments. The city needs your help, and they're only asking for 3 hours of your time. The weather is going to be beautiful, and it's a great way to help clean up the city and give back to your community at the same time. All cleanup items will be provided. The Wellness Committee's effort to get students moving before school continued Wednesday morning with the continuation of Walking Wednesdays. Students are able to walk to school under parent supervision every Wednesday depending on the weather. Here's a look at this past Wednesday's Walk to School. Marlborough Wellness Committee kicked off their Walking Wednesday program this past Wednesday morning. Students walk to school with parent supervision and volunteer help. Drivers beware of walking routes as they will be having police presence along the streets to ensure a safe walk to school. For all routes by school, check the Wellness Committee's website at marlboroughwellness.org. A celebrity roast for a good cause, your pet of the week, and your local sports wrap-up. It's all coming up next. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
80% of U.S. fire deaths occur in the home. Hi, I'm firefighter Mark Asenko, here with some fire safety tips for you. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or broiling food. Talking on the phone, watching TV, using the computer are all distractions that can lead to home fires. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothing when you are cooking. Pay attention when using the microwave. The simplest things such as cooking popcorn could cause a fire. Keep kids and pets away from the stove while you are cooking. Some of these tips may seem obvious, but they do save lives. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Former State Representative Stephen LeDuc will be on this hot seat as the first person to be roasted at the Employment Options Celebrity Roast to benefit the local organization. The event is coming up at the end of May, and it will be a fun event for all while raising money for a great cause. Employment Options, a recognized leader in providing a variety of crucial services to those recovering from mental illness, is bringing back the old-time celebrity roast on an annual basis in hopes of bringing a new and extremely comical and witty event to the city of Marlborough, in addition to raising much-needed funds for the programs of the organization. The roast will take place Thursday, May 20th at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel. While the list of people expressing interest in roasting Representative LeDuc is growing, the event will only host 10 to 12 individuals to have that opportunity. Those who'd like to purchase tickets in advance can visit the Employment Options website at employmentoptions.org/roast.
Today we have Cupid, and he's a little 8-week-old male. We're not really sure of his breeding, but I don't think he's going to be a very big dog. He's going to need a lot of time and energy. He is not housebroken, and he'll need to be obedience trained. He started his vaccinations, but he's not old enough for all of them yet, and he will need to be neutered later on down the line. But he's cute and sweet, and he loves to be held. So if you're interested in Cupid or any of the other pets here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
Hello Marlborough, Rob O'Keefe back again with your sports update this week. The Marlborough High boys volleyball team has a lot to smile about these days, sitting on an 11-1 record going into Thursday's matchup against Algonquin. Let's pick it up in the first match. Marlborough up 5-2, a little back and forth here and there, and then Zach August finally kills it to make it 6-2. A little later on, nice play by Jim McCarthy and Tyler Little to give the Panthers another score. Both of these guys came up big for Marlborough. Ari Cardosa, another standout this year for the Panthers, with a nice shot over the net. Marlborough came up with decisive victories in the first two matches. Tyler Little again with a nice hard shot for the point. Marlborough would go on to lose the third match, but came from behind to win the fourth one. Coach Lepre is happy with his team's overall performance, but says his team still has room to improve.
Do you want to be sitting here happy at 12-1? There's a lot of teams on 12-1, but we got a long way to go to, let's say, win the rest of the games. We have a long way to go, and we'll start working on it tomorrow.
Lepre says the key to this year's success is that everyone on the team has contributed.
We had guys come up with big games here and there. When all seems to be going bad, someone just seems to step up. For example, Jimmy McCarthy had a few good things going for him today. Stevie Kester held the back row together well. And Big Zach August, especially in the last two games when he was in the front row, he kind of dominated in the front row. But then the next game will come and three other kids will do real well. A day's going to come. We've only had one of them so far, where all 7 or 8 players have done well. We're just hoping that starts to happen pretty soon. Season's got 3 more weeks left.
On to Marlborough's girls lacrosse. They took on North Middlesex at a windy Vital Field on Thursday. The Panthers made it a game early on, and let's pick it up in the first quarter. Marlborough down 2-0, and Katie Brecken with a nice shot that hits the post to prevent Marlborough from getting on the board. But then a few minutes later, Brecken, who's put together a pretty nice season for herself, finds the net, and Marlborough cuts the lead in half. The Marlborough defense did their best to keep the Panthers in the game. Christina Delano in the net had a number of nice saves. Unfortunately, Marlborough had a tough time putting points on the board. Andrea Hollis with a nice shot and a nice save. Hollis again putting pressure on North Middlesex defense, but unable to come up with a goal. And when the North Middlesex goalie wasn't preventing the Panthers from scoring, the North Middlesex defense used their faces to stop the ball. Scary moment here, but she would remain on the ground for a couple of minutes, and she did eventually get up and walk off the field okay. The North Middlesex offense was just too much for the Panthers. Marlborough did have scoring opportunities, but North Middlesex would go on to win 11-3. Now let's check out some other scores.
This week we had lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, and it's only going to get warmer this weekend. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Just a reminder that a free internet safety program will be presented at Marlborough Public Library this coming Monday, May 3rd and Monday, May 10th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The May 3rd program is for parents only and will focus on internet security, parental controls, and username suggestions. The May 10th program is designed for children and parents and will focus on cyberbullying, appropriate texting, and posting personal information. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.